Hey, I'm Jack, and I love to yap, and today we're going to talk about The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. Wait, hang on. No, not that one. This one, The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remaster. But really, it's a remake. Bethesda have employed Virtuous Studios to completely remake Oblivion from the ground up using Unreal Engine 5, but keeping the Bethesda creation engine from Skyrim as the brain, meaning you can still mod it like crazy, and oh boy, we've already seen some mods. Even though Bethesda said that mods aren't supported, PC gamers always win, let's be real. They also preserved some hilarious bugs and errors from the original game, completely intact.
All on the same night. Wait a minute, let me do that one again. I heard that...
But why Oblivion? Why did Bethesda choose to remake Oblivion rather than Morrowind, or Arena, or even a Fallout game? Well, today's video, we're going to have a yap about why Oblivion is incredibly important for Bethesda, because, let's be real, Starfield didn't exactly impress gamers. We're going to talk about why Bethesda picked Oblivion, and why they chose to remaster it on the 19th anniversary, rather than the much round-numbery 20th anniversary. And of course, if there's even a possibility other Bethesda games could receive the same remaster treatment. So, let's have a yap. So first, let's talk about why Oblivion, or why even an Elder Scrolls game. Fallout New Vegas, which is considered one of the best Fallout games, came out in 2010, which would make it 15 years since its release. Fallout 3 came out in 2008, which would make it 17 years. But that's not a fun number. So why Oblivion over Fallout New Vegas? Well, it all comes down to the generations of gamers that have been able to play Bethesda games. Oblivion came out in 2007. I turned 26 this year, which means Oblivion came out when I was 7, turning 8. I didn't even have a PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360 when Oblivion came out. My very limited playtime with Oblivion came from me playing video games as a young boy while I was sick from school at my auntie's house, while my mum was at work. So, I didn't play a lot of Oblivion. But I digress! Meanwhile, my playtime with Skyrim was constant. Over 5,000 hours across Xbox 360, Xbox One, and PC, Skyrim was released in 2011, 2013, 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2021. So a massive range of gamers got to play their very first Elder Scrolls game of Skyrim. Similarly, Fallout 4, which came out in 2015, only once though, didn't shoot for the stars like Skyrim did. A range of gamers played that, but that's where we come to a crossroads. Those who played Fallout 4 as their first Fallout game got to play Fallout 76 as their second, while those who played Skyrim got to play Skyrim Special Edition and Skyrim VR and Skyrim Switch and you get the point. I'm not going to include Elder Scrolls Online in this comparison because the gameplay is so vastly different from a traditional Elder Scrolls game, it's not even comparable. This, paired with Starfield being a game with similar gameplay traits to Fallout, means that gamers haven't really played an Elder Scrolls game, or even a game somewhat similar to Elder Scrolls, even from a different studio, since Skyrim. So instead of waiting for the Elder Scrolls 6, because who knows when that's going to release, the obvious option was to remaster Oblivion, so that they could not only hype up the Elder Scrolls 6 for its eventual release date, ready for your grandchildren, but also to allow new gamers to experience a new Elder Scrolls game for the first time since Skyrim. Or for some people, for the very first time since they missed the Skyrim launch. Even though one of them was 4 years ago, it's not quite the same as seeing the 2011 launch. But if you haven't played Skyrim, go and play it. Go. You'll thank me. Go. Skyblivion, which is a fan-made recreation of Oblivion within Skyrim, yeah, it's pretty crazy how fast Skyrim mods are going, will be a little bit different when compared to the actual Oblivion remaster because it will be built in the Skyrim engine, and Bethesda, who aren't Nintendo, are allowing them to continue without sending a cease and desist. So when that releases, you'll also be able to play Skyblivion with all your favorite Skyrim mods. But most importantly, why on the 19th anniversary instead of the 20th? Well, let's take a look at when the remaster entered development back in 2021. Bethesda had Starfield in development, which was scheduled to release the following year. We all know how that turned out. With Starfield launching well below expectations of both gamers and Bethesda, stealth dropping Oblivion on the 19th anniversary made the launch more of a surprise. Until the leaks, literally no one saw it coming at all. It would have been much more believable that the remaster of such an important game in Elder Scrolls history on the 20th anniversary, but it also made sense for Oblivion to be the candidate of the remaster over Morrowind, not just because of the 20th anniversary, but because Morrowind just didn't have that mainstream following that Oblivion had. Oblivion was originally supposed to be an Xbox 360 launch title, but unfortunately had to be pushed back to March 2006. The Oblivion remaster has turned out to be a massive win for Bethesda, and a massive win that they so desperately needed. So now that we know why Oblivion was picked, let's take a look at why Bethesda so desperately needed the win that Oblivion scored. Now, Bethesda is owned by Xbox and have absolutely been reaping the rewards from Skyrim, because let's be real, us dumbass gamers will keep buying it no matter how many times they re-release it. The 15th anniversary is coming up, wink wink, nudge nudge. But since the original release of Skyrim back in 2011, let's take a look at the games that have released since then and how they were received by gamers and critics. 2015, Fallout 4. Many gamers would agree that Fallout 4 was a good game, but Fallout fans would agree that it is not a good Fallout game. This led to a very mixed reception of Fallout 4. Fast forward to 2018 to Fallout 76. Oh, that tanked. People hated that game on launch. I was more popular in high school than this game was at launch. Let that sink in. You don't have to know me to know that I wasn't very popular. I mean, look at what I'm doing now. And just listen to me. My voice, that is. I see the comments. Then we get Starfield in 2023. We all know how that one went down. Massive promises, and most of them completely unfulfilled. So, after a not great track record for Bethesda Game Studios, they absolutely needed a big win. Obviously, as a publisher, Bethesda had some successes, most namely in the Doom franchise, but Bethesda Game Studios needed a win. But it's not for the reason you think. Bethesda didn't need a win so that Xbox wouldn't shut down their studio, nor did they need a win for money. Daddy Phil Spencer has reached into his wallet for that one. They needed a win to prove that they could still remain relevant in the 2025 gaming world. Oblivion selling well and marketing, or lack thereof marketing and marketing through leaks, allowed Bethesda to regain the trust of fans that they had lost when Starfield launched. And didn't take off. A little bit ironic for a space game. This has reignited that hype for players that Elder Scrolls 6 is still in active development, even though we haven't heard anything since 2018, 7 years ago. While this isn't the Elder Scrolls 6, it reintroduced the Elder Scrolls franchise to this current generation of gamers, and has given Bethesda a much needed win to keep the hype going for when Elder Scrolls 6 finally releases for my grandchildren. Now, we've covered Oblivion. We can look at the future of Elder Scrolls, Bethesda, and the other games that they could potentially remaster. First, let's look at the future of Elder Scrolls. It's likely that Elder Scrolls 6 is still at least 2 years out for a 2027 release date. But what happens between now and 2027 and beyond if Elder Scrolls 6 doesn't come out in 2027? Well, Bethesda has always owed the longevity of their more recent games to the community. Modders coming out in full force, creating mod lists that completely reimagine the game, almost making it unrecognizable. These modders have gone above and beyond for Skyrim, but I don't see Oblivion getting that same treatment since it's only just released. But that one massive mod that's going to extend the life of Skyrim even further, Skyblivion, we need to talk about. Skyblivion, as I mentioned, is a fan-made mod by a group of volunteers recreating the entirety of Oblivion inside of Skyrim, and Bethesda have confirmed they're not going to stop the Skyblivion team even after the launch of Oblivion Remastered. In fact, Bethesda sent all the developers of Skyblivion a free copy of Oblivion Remastered. This will not only provide players with a completely different way to play Oblivion, thanks to all the available mods on Skyrim, which will increase the longevity of Skyrim even more. I mean, it's that 15 years next year. That sweet 16 party's coming up. They grow up so fast. But let's say Elder Scrolls 6 is even further away. Will Bethesda remaster another Elder Scrolls game? I just don't see that happening. I honestly see a Skyrim re-release more likely. And that comes down to one simple fact. The net immersed engine that Morrowind was built on is so fundamentally different to the Game Bro or Creation engine that it just doesn't make sense to remaster it. It would essentially be completely remaking the game and recording voice lines, since 99% of Morrowind was text-based. If they remastered Morrowind, staying true to the original, it just wouldn't hit today's audiences. Older gamers would love it. I mean, they played Zork. But unfortunately, that just doesn't make up the majority of today's audience. What about remastering another game? Well, I think the most likely candidate would be Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas. Both are critically acclaimed games of the Fallout franchise, and it would make sense, since after Elder Scrolls 6 releases, Daddy Todd Howard has confirmed Fallout 5 is the next major project for Bethesda Game Studios, following that launch of Elder Scrolls 6. But gamers are 100% split over which Fallout they believe is the better Fallout. So unless they give us Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, I think there could be a war in the community, and war never changes. So, Oblivion. The remaster has been an absolutely massive hit, and one Bethesda needed so badly, not because they were on the verge of being shut down, but because they needed to remind audiences they can create absolutely phenomenal gaming worlds that are appreciated and adored by so many fans. After the failure of Starfield, Bethesda have reminded everyone that while they had a few missteps, they've also had some absolutely massive leaps. With Elder Scrolls 6 coming somewhere in the future, Bethesda has the choice to either remaster another game because of how extremely well the launch of the Oblivion remaster has gone, or to release Elder Scrolls 6 in the next few years, and then remaster a Fallout game later down the line before Fallout 5 comes out. We won't know until we get more information on the Elder Scrolls 6 release date and more information on the actual game, but let me know in the comments what you think will happen, or when Elder Scrolls 6 it actually launches, because I'm hoping for 2027, guys. Patreon! Thanks to all the patrons who support me. You can join the Patreon for free and get sneak peeks or get a membership to get early access to videos and bloopers of me stuffing up while recording. It happens a lot, plus I get money, so it's a win-win!